10. But one of them actually that we're going to discuss is the commandment number 5. Anybody knows what that is, right? Number 5. Somebody give me a guess. No, that's already after 5. I wouldn't talk about that. I already talked about it once. Anyways, number 5 talks about honoring parents. Now, the funny thing is, that on the first is in the first tablet. The first one is on the first tablet. They're usually between us and God. One God, no idol worship. Don't say God's name in vain. Keep the Sabbath. These are between us and God. Honoring parents is between human beings, but it's on the first tablet. And the reason for that is the Talmud says because honoring parents is honoring God Himself. The logic behind that is because every child has 3 partners in his birth. The father, the mother, and then God actually puts the soul into him. When you respect one of the partners is equal to honoring all 3 partners, and disrespecting one of them is like you disrespecting all 3. But actually, let's go through the reasoning. Why do we have to actually respect our parents? Again, it's simple, but I'm just going to go through the religious points of view of it. These days, unfortunately, the way, the families are sometimes, I'm not judging anybody, father's the child and just leaves the family, doesn't give a darn, or vice versa. And there's a lot of, hard feelings sometimes for these children. When they get married, for example, should I invite my dad or mom who abandoned me or not? So again, there's different points of view. I'm sure you talk to every therapist who'll say something else. But in Bible, the Torah says we got to honor them. Or even let's say if you have no obligation of honoring them because they're like not such good people, we cannot disrespect them. You can't just say bad words to them. But what's the logic behind it? So the simple logic is, there's a concept in the Bible. It's called gratitude. That if somebody does something good for us, everybody understands it. That you have to thank them, show gratitude. Somebody passes even the napkin, to blow your nose or whatever. Wipe your face. You say thank you. You're invited to somebody's house. You say thank you. When somebody does something good, the normal, any regular normal person understands you have to thank them. So obviously, when we look at our parents, and again, this is even something that benefits you, which has no feelings at all. We actually learn it from the 10 plagues that happened in Egypt, right? Moses is the leader. He's supposed to bring all the plagues. The first 3 Moses didn't bring. Aaron did it. The first plague was the blood. If you look in the Bible, it says clearly, God tells Moses, you give your staff to Aaron to put it on the river to turn into blood. Same thing for the frogs that came from the Nile. And also the 3rd plague was the lice, which the dust of Egypt turned into lice. Aaron had to do that. So the reason, our rabbis explain, because Moses owed his life to the water and the dust of Egypt as a little baby. His mom put him in a basket on the Nile River. That's how Pharaoh's daughter found him and raised him. So the water saved him. How could he be ungrateful and bring a plague? When he was defending a Jew and he killed an Egyptian taskmaster, how was he able to hide it? The only reason why Pharaoh found out because one of his Jewish brothers went and actually informed that Moses is the killer. Otherwise, he was hidden. Nobody knew because he was the only Egyptian around. How did he hide his body? He buried it under the dust. So how could he bring a plague on the dust? From this, we learn that even if you have benefits from inanimate things that are not alive, have no feelings, you have to show gratitude. When I come to a school, I can't go and break the walls because I got benefits from this school. I got education. Now, even though the walls has no feelings, but I have to show my appreciation. Many of you guys I know, for example, many people that were like you, when they grow up, they get actually jobs and they're able to donate. They actually help to the schools that had the best time. So it's even something that has no feelings. When you look at our parents, that they sacrifice their sleep, they sacrifice their comfort, when they're actually very budgeted with money, they spend it for the children, not for themselves. That's usually what parents do. I'm sure you guys will do that when you become parents yourself. Whatever you should spend for your spouse more than yourself too. All right? What? You should spend for your spouse more than yourself too, not just your children. She's the crown of your head, Yes. Yeah, okay, that's awesome. Obviously, a crown beautifies you. Your wife makes you more beautiful. That's the way it is. That's why I always take pictures with my wife because her beauty shines on me. You see, I'm half ugly because she's not here today. Otherwise, it would be fantastic. It would be completely gorgeous. But anyways, so parents actually sacrifice everything for their children. We have to show the gratitude. Now, the Torah says even if they're not such good parents, we still have to thank them, not be disrespectful. The fact that I have the opportunity to be in the world and have my life is because our parents chose to bring us in the world. Even if afterwards, they did not act the way they're supposed to, but we have to show our respect. This was just one point of view that we learned from the Bible. Thank you for listening. You could actually